Hey everyone, welcome back to Cloud Consultant YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the security module, Web Application Firewall. In this video, we'll try to cover theoretical on what is Web Firewall, how does Web Firewall work, and some common architectures on to secure your application running on cloud, to secure your application running on-prem as well. So yeah, let's move ahead with the introduction of what Web Firewall is. Um, so so what is Web Firewall security and functionality, right? So Web Firewall, I can say like it's a web application firewall that sit at the endpoint of your applications, which secures your and monitors all your HTTP traffic from the web application. So unlike like traditional firewall that protect your network traffic, right? So there are those two set of firewall, like web firewall, network firewall. Um, a network firewall will have the blockage at the network level, but this web firewall control all your HTTP traffic. It monitor, it filter out, it safeguard your web application from common vulnerabilities such as SQL engine injection, cross-site scripting, and there are so many in a common thread. So yeah, so web firewall sit on the top of your applications endpoint, whether it's ELB, whether it's IPs or so any traffic coming to your applications and from which is public over the internet will first reach out to the web firewall. The web firewall has certain rules, features which will control your all the malicious actors at the endpoint. So what are the key features? Basically, traffic monitoring. It's like a rule-based filtering can be applied on that. We can have a threat intelligence, customizable policies, and it also gives you the control on logging and reporting. So from the functionality point of view, it's traffic analyzing and threat detection. So this is needed at it analyze all your traffic where whoever try to reach your the website. So what is importance, right? So the one key area, the reason behind having this web firewall is protecting against that a common attack. So nowadays a lot of hackers are attacking your websites. They do the spoofing. They uh, try getting in onto your applications, and that definitely spoils the organization reputations. And the other thing is also the compliance requirement, right? So each and every SME and enterprise customers, they are bound to have the compliance. Uh, uh, Due to compliance, they need to have the web firewall for each and every application which is published over the internet. Enhance it definitely it enhances security postures, and it keeps your business continuity running, right? So without any downtime, without any security incidents, web firewalls is a key component to secure your web applications. So some common external threat, there are denial services, app vulnerabilities, bad attack, right? So there are so many attacks are happening, which is web request flood, reflection attacks, sync floods, right? So attackers try to use those methods, and they try flooding the number of requests and breaking your and getting into systems whenever they find any gaps. So even the app vulnerabilities, so nowadays what happened is that your application is running on PHP, or your application is running on any sort of the core language. If there is any vulnerabilities found in your applications, uh, and that vulnerability is not patched, the attacker get the loophole to get into it. So they use SQL ingestion, they use cross-site scripting, and they use all sort of like the top OWASP rule to get into applications. The other common threat is basically bad bots, which like do a crawling to your website, and they do a scraping, and they scan your website 24 by 7, and then try to find out all the loopholes and gaps. And and the moment they get any gaps and anything, they try getting into the systems and breaking the systems. What are the web firewall coverage? Covering the point, it provides a security posture assessment. It provides a traffic flow logic. Uh, it it has some rules configurations, right? So based on your traffic flow, like incoming request, Cloudflare check, rate limiting, whatever we have, those rules can be defined as a priority, and which makes us to do, like, which particular rules has to be checked at the priority level. So suppose I take an example, if you want a certain region to be blocked straight away, like for example, I want to block certain region where I'm not expecting any traffic, straight away you can keep that rule at the first priority. So anything comes to your web firewall first, it will check that the request is coming from originated region or originated IP, and then it will block the firewall based on the priority. Result recommendation is achieving the security objective, expected outcome, and maintenance requirement, right? So it gives you the all the output that is required for the securing of a web application. Protection detail is access control, rate limiting, geography restriction, security pattern detection. So that's one of the protection where it can be applied to control your web. One key features for the troubleshooting and understanding what sort of traffic I'm getting and how many bad actors are coming up. So monitoring and logging is something which is very important. And anything comes to your web firewall, they are the uh, uh, whole and soul, like for the entry point of your website or the application. So monitoring and logging is very important component of the web firewall. We'll go through some WAF architectures, general WAF architecture, s- uh, which belongs to your cloud, which belongs to the hybrid. So any application hosted in the cloud or on-prem will we have a couple of architecture which how to protect the application using those services, WAF. Yeah. So as I said, like we'll be using AWS as a key component for the WAF firewall, and uh, definitely. So this is the protecting your cloud web applications. Um, so all your applications getting hosted on your and your backend is getting hosted on your AWS environment, and it's getting published over the load balancer, right? So any application which is running on EC2 or any VMs, yeah, whether it's a Fargate or whether it's a ECS containers, the things get published over the load balancer. So load balancer has to be in public subnet, which means that it has a capability to the rules is there, like, it can connect from the internet. So anyone wants to connect to your load balancer directly, they have a DNS, they have IP, they can directly come to the WAF load balancer and come to your application request. Yeah. So in this architecture, we keep as a two layer of WAF. One is like S service and one is a region service, right? So basically here my entire services which is running is in my environment to protect the ALB, all the ALB requests, right? So in within AWS WAF also have the regional service, so which means that if I'm hosting so my services in Mumbai region or in one of our uh, uh, so you can use AWS WAF to in the Mumbai region and protect your ALB, like that. So it gives you the regional service and under the WAF, and it also has the S service, right? So it's S service is like kind of a global service which serves your request, right? Which sit at the edge of all your and do the content delivery. So anything, so if you talk about anything comes on the user client from internet serving any website xyz.com, it will first come to Amazon Route 53. That's a DNS service. It could be anything. It could be like GoDaddy. It could be Cloudflare. So DNS is nothing but it's a serving your request, mapping a domain name with an IP or load balancer IP, right? So anything comes on like cloud consultant or services.com. So if anyone hits to this website, it will go to the DNS, and from DNS at the SS level, we also have uh, WAF and CloudFront. So these are the very crucial component. The CloudFront, the reason behind having a Amazon CloudFront is like it is one of the service which is protected and guarded by a shield. If you see this icon, right, this means that this is the managed service, right? And AWS comes with advanced shield, which means that it is already been protected with all your DDoS and everything, right? So anything comes to the cloud front, it has its layer of advanced shield, and that's a free of cost. I mean, we don't have to pay any extra cost for this advanced shield. And it also gives you leverage to control, apply the WAF. So if you have the WAF in front of a cloud front, you can restrict the origin country, origins IPs. You can restrict the ample of rate limiting and the different sort of rules. And then the request will come to CloudFront, and CloudFront is already having the DDoS and enables advanced shield. And then the traffic will go to the AWS WAF, and then from here it has the ALBs, and then traffic will go to their target servers. So it's quite simple architectures where you have your WAF sitting in front of your applications. Here we are using the regional and plus edge level of WAF. So the traffic which is going from the outside to the inside, it has to go through this flow, right? So if the user is configuring the WAF and CloudFront, if they're using the CloudFront, they will get this layer of connection, and then after that it will move to the ALB. If the user wants to connect, if the user is not, we have not published any services via the CloudFront, which means that the traffic from the internet will directly go to the, from DNS it will go directly to WAF, and from there it will go to the ALB. So anyhow, like the WAF is the single source for all your source IPs detection and the source traffic detection. So it will track all your headers which is coming up, malicious header. It also check all the deep analyzing of the packets which is coming from internet. So yeah, I think that's how general architecture for the cloud web applications. Protecting the on-prem applications origin. So with AWS WAF, CloudFront, internet, on-prem origin. So consider that you have your corporate data centers and your applications are running on your data center. It's not running on AWS cloud. Here, like how to protect this one, right? Using the cloud WAF protocol. So in this scenario, you can provision a cloud service, cloud, where you provision the edge service itself instead of having the. So we don't have to have the workload. So workload, which was in earlier case we were using the workload, which is a regional service. In this case, like our workload is going to running on corporate data center, and to protect those public applications running on-prem, we can use the AWS S service for protecting that. So it comes with a CloudFront, WAF, and this is a DNS service. So again, anything wants to reach to your corporate data center, so we can have the customer gateway if you want to have the connectivity through the site to site VPN and other things. But in this case, the application is getting published over the internet, and that is going to get restricted and get that is going to get backed by Amazon CloudFront. And on top of that, we'll have the AWS WAF. So the request come from internet, mapped it search for the domain name mapping, and it goes to the WAF CloudFront, do all the rule checking, and then serve your on-prem applications. Moving on to next slide. So protecting on-prem application origin. So WAF plus ALB. This involve a DX VPN on-prem origin. So in this scenario, like we are not going to use a S service. In this, we are going to use a regional service to protect your on-prem applications. So how it looks is basically we have your cloud the data center application hosted in your on-prem, and you have your customer gateway, and you have provision direct connect, or you have a site-to-site VPN, which will be a private connectivity between your on cloud to the on-prem. So anything, so from the AWS cloud, we can provision the VPCs, and under the VPC we can host the public subnet where you can provision the load balancer, and this load balancer network will have the capability to talk to your on-prem applications using this direct connect or VPN, site-to-site VPN. So eventually the publishing is happening through the AWS cloud, and the we have how to protect this. The publishing application is using the AWS WAF, that is a regional WAF. So all your filtration and everything will be sitting here. So any internet user comes to connect your publish domain name, it has to go to the AWS WAF, all the filtration, ALB, and from the site-to-site VPN will connect to your backend applications and serve your requests. So this is more of the VPN connectivity between a cloud and on-prem, and then serving a request through AWS, WAF, and ALB. Next, the protecting your on-prem applications origin. So using AWS CloudFront, ALB, DX, and VPN on-prem origin. So in this, we are going to leverage S service plus a regional service both, um, like and protecting our on-prem application. Even in this scenario, we are going to have the same, like application is getting hosted on on-prem, and we have the connectivity as site-to-site VPN, which will be connecting your backend application via the private network. And here in the regional, we are not maintaining the WAF, but ALB by itself have advanced shield. If you see this icon, which means that it's a free of cost, which AWS do protect for DDoS. Uh, at the regional, we have the service called Cloud33, or any DNS provider, that is GoDaddy or Cloudflare, and the WAF, AWS WAF, and the CloudFront, right? So basically, end user will come to the a service, and has to go through all the filtration of WAF, then CloudFront, and CloudFront is pointing the origin to ALB, and ALB will have a connectivity to the site-to-site VPN to serve your on-prem request. Right. So that's a request will forward, and there is some bursting capacity. Like if you want to scale the number of requests also through the cloud application, you can divert the traffic from ALB to the other instance. Coming to the demo, we will have the demo on WAF security check flowchart. So in this demo, we'll be preparing a Terraform script where we will have the all the rules written in Terraform, and this will be having the traffic flow would be like this. So anything comes from the internet, we will be using the Cloudflare proxy. So we'll be like currently I'm going to host the DNS on the Cloudflare. Cloudflare by itself also provide the WAF rule, WAF thing, but it's in a it's an expensive compared to AWS. So and AWS gives you quite leverage on monitoring, logging, and visibility. So the reason behind bringing the Cloudflare is to make sure that only the Cloudflare has a reachability to your applications. So I'll I'll be I'll be showing you in the demo like how the Cloudflare proxy allows you to um, come up with the source IP, and that source IP will be restricted in the WAF, and then there will be a check called rate limiting check. We'll have the geographic check rule. We'll have a malicious pattern check rule, and then we'll have the AWS manage rule there. And if everything matches, then the request will get served from the applications. So this we're going to see in our demo. Let's head back in the demo.